Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to the second video I am posting tonight. Thank you so much if you're here for just this one, if you're here for just the last one, whatever. I appreciate your time and I really do value that you've chose to spend it with me. Okay, we have got the finale. We have the finale on what has happened between Brittany Broski and Sarah Schauer. Before that, I want to remind you that there's now 70% of my regular audience within the past 3 months who watch my channel who are not subscribed. So please, come on. Don't be shy. Hit the button. Don't be shy. Come on. Wherever the fuck it is. I don't know where it is. Also, my second channel is linked down below. We're doing Vlogmas every single day. I'm going to New York tomorrow, and we're going to be vlogging an entire, week and a half there. It's going to be very fun. And also, we have a Facebook Muckers group, which is for our community, where we talk about all the drama. Go down, request to join. I will accept you. But basically, let's get into why you're here, which is the finale of the Brittany Broski Sarah Schauer. So I would imagine that this is going to be the final video on this, because we've now the reason for the fallout, the alleged fallout. I don't even think we need to, say all these, alleged fallouts and speculation of, arguments, whatever, because it is very much so apparent that Sarah Schauer is angry, at the decision that was made with, their podcast with Brittany Broski violating community guidelines ending. And for valid reasons, their feelings are completely valid to be annoyed, and Brittany's are completely valid for getting new exciting opportunities. And it's very interesting. So what has happened, and we're gonna get to the clip. Brittany Broski went on the H3 podcast yesterday night and didn't really talk about it, and there was a lot of people saying that they were commenting why did VCG end, and apparently they were getting muted by mods. I don't know if that's true or whatever, but there were at least 7 people in the Facebook group telling me that they were commenting that and being muted, so that was a little bit shady. But it was basically an hour and a bit, 2 hours maybe, into the stream with Brittany that they actually brought it up in some capacity, and Ethan was very much so dancing around it. He wasn't really bringing it up, but he did ask Brittany, do you have any upcoming projects? And this was where she really spilled the beans. Spilled the beans? Look at me! It's such an old term. You spilled the tea at him. Come on, speak like a 20-year-old. Anyway, what it is Brittany Broski has been offered something very exciting. And that is that she now has her own show. So Brittany Broski is going to have her own show, the equivalent of Hot Ones, with Sean Evans. Isn't that his name? Yeah, where they go on and it's him interviewing celebrities and they're doing something in the midst of it. So they're eating, chicken wings with hotter sauce and, it gets hot. And it's an exciting interview because you're asking the questions, but you're also, seeing the celebrity in an uncomfortable situation. And it's just way more interesting than the conventional, Jimmy Fallon interview. No shade, Jimmy Fallon. I'll use Ellen because I just don't like Ellen, the traditional Ellen interview, even though she's gone now. Loser. Sorry, Ellen. No, actually not sorry. Fuck you, Ellen. But the equivalent of... There's a girl in the UK called Amelia as well who has chicken shop dates, which is her and a celebrity will go to the chicken shop and they eat chips and then they talk and do the interview. So it's always a less formal interview, and Brittany Broski has gotten her own one of these. And I'm gonna let Brittany explain it and then we're gonna talk about it, but there's a very mixed reaction from the fan base. A lot of people now, obviously have it confirmed that it was Brittany who's ended violating community guidelines, the podcast, and that Sarah is, rightful in how they feel about whether it's that they were blindsided, whether they just didn't agree that, they were being left behind in a way. There's a lot of different takes on this. But we're going to hear what Brittany had to say first and foremost. This was on the H3 podcast yesterday. Alright, let's get to it. Now, I can't wait for this. I love Brittany. Okay, here we go.
Boop. Thank you, Sam.
I am. So I've talked about...
There we go. Thank you, Sam.
I am. So I've talked about...
Want us to clear it?
Oh, no, I'll eat it.
Oh.
I wouldn't worry about it. I've talked about for a long time how I want to have my own Hot Ones. I want to do my own Hot Ones.
Want to host a show?
Yeah, I want to host a show that isn't fucking So is it bad or what?
I didn't try it yet.
Should we try it?
So you don't want to do Hot Ones, or you want to do a talk show that has a shtick like that?
Period.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Nice texture.
Yeah, that'll.
For context, they're trying disgusting food mixes and food combos. So they were doing an Oreo burger and stuff like that. For the context, if you're not aware.
It just
Great.
it looks like fun.
The crunchiness And the softness, it's happening.
Hey, but the flavor.
God, I love Brittany.
Oh yeah, it hits
Yeah.
you.
And Ela looks amazing, by the
You
way.
need to go back to that nutritionist and be like, tell me. Try to fucking tell me that every food has nutrition.
Thoughts to my time. What do you think about this?
Oh, can you get that M&M?
You bitch.
My dog will definitely drop it.
It's on the table, I think.
The orange one?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, this would be a lot better without M&Ms on it.
Yeah. Just pizza. Anyway, yeah, I'm that's in the works. Because I'm doing my own show that has its own.
There we have it confirmed.
It's celebrity guest focused, and we've already booked some celebrity guests. Very
Wow.
excited, and so look for that.
So this is deep in production now.
How fun.
Yeah.
Are you working with, like,
Listen to this.
a production company or...
Totally self.
So,
Okay, we love that.
Brittany has just said that it is totally self-produced, which is again a theory. A lot of people were saying that, you know, Sarah made this big deal that they were signing, you know, continuing on another deal with Studio 71, which was the company that basically owned Violating Community Guidelines. Sarah is doing a new podcast with their friend Kendall. And it was very much so apparent that, you know, Sarah was continuing the deal, and a lot of people were speculating that Brittany had left Studio 71. Now, we don't know if this is confirmed, but Brittany is now saying that this project moving forward, which is going to be one of the biggest projects of her career, is entirely self-controlled and self-made, and no company behind it. Which is actually a good deal as well.
That's the way I did it.
Most
That's the way
profit.
we did it.
That's the
I
way.
tell everyone to do
Yeah,
it.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
beholden to anyone. You know, if there's a month where I can't do a video, I shouldn't have to be like, like that's just I don't.
My opinion about working with, like, networks and shit, they don't do shit. They're just a pain in the ass.
They just take money.
yeah.
So,
True.
Yeah, it's totally. We're filming it in my spare bedroom.
Oh, wow.
On my house.
Are you building a set and stuff?
Which is also a very interesting thing, that it is being filmed at Brittany and Sarah's house as well, which makes this even messier with the way that, you know, Sarah's been posting online, completely warranted, their feelings. But this is really messy that this new show, that the reason Violating Community Guidelines has ended, is being filmed in their house. Like, Violating Community Guidelines wasn't even filmed in their house. Like, awkward.
Exciting.
It's gonna be slay. So
Can you tell me, like, about the concept, or are you keeping that secret?
I can tell you a little bit. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit.
Okay.
You know, medieval times.
Mm-hmm.
That's the theme.
This is like
But
a good
it's not
concept.
like we're watching jousting. It's I have my own. Like this, we completely transformed this spare bedroom. It looks so fucking good. It is medieval themed, and we have a celebrity guest on, and I am auditioning them to join my small council. I love House of the Dragon. Really, I watched it. I was like, I'm going to make this.
This sounds so messy, but so good.
So that's it. I'm asking them questions, and we share a meal, and we eat with our hands like a medieval time.
Oh.
And I make them wear a cape, and I make them like act like they're in my cinematic universe. And
Okay.
it's a fucking blast. We already filmed the first episode.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we filmed from the first. Just had a stutter. Film.
So how'd it go? Good?
It went so good.
Can you tell us who it was?
No.
I expect it's Doja Cat, by the way, because they're good friends.
Come out.
Hopefully, February.
Fun.
Because we want to pre-film like 3 episodes and be able to like schedule them
Right.
and
Yeah.
hopefully get some
Get on a schedule.
Well, that's a dog,
That's
good.
so cool.
But I wanted to do something like this for a really long time because Sean Evans is the greatest to ever do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Amelia from Chicken Shop Date, greatest to ever do it. You know, like
Also,
Their
that guy
shows are
you
good.
said from, I forget his name. The guy who's blowing up from Barstool, who does the celebrity.
Caleb Presley?
Yes, so
Yep.
funny.
incredible. Like these, and they're all original ideas that kind of focus on the same thing. So fucking
So this
nasty.
is called the Oreo Burger Bukkake.
So then we skip in a little bit past this.
That's
So they talk about the
crazy
food.
right there.
That's fucking
And Ela
nasty.
talks about
Yeah,
the
so
idea.
this
Here we go.
Alright, I'm going in. I'll give it.
It'll be so
Here we
good
go.
at it.
Yeah, you'll do
Thank you.
good.
Thank you
Sure.
so much.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's perfect for you.
We'll have y'all on eventually.
That's okay. You don't have to.
I don't know if I can go in. I'm like,
Alright, okay, so there we have it. We have it confirmed now. Okay, so the response has been mixed. Now, me, first and foremost, I'm a fan of Brittany Broski first. I love Sarah Schauer, but first and foremost, I feel like a child of divorce in this, with this messy, like, breakdown. But I am a Brittany Broski I'm a Brittany Broski. I'm part of Broski Nation. So I'm very excited for this, and I know Brittany is going to do an amazing job, and Brittany has amazing connections within the celebrity world. Brittany would be able to get the likes of Harry Styles now. Like, that is the equivalent of what we're dealing with here. So I think that this could be even bigger than Chicken Shop with Amelia, and, you know, could be, you know, eventually reach, like, the Hot Ones level. Brittany has that mainstream crossover now. The argument people are making is, how did this come about, and how did this affect violating community guidelines? Now, we're going to get to this. So, there's a post on Reddit here that says, Brittany's new show, my opinion, and I want to hear yours. First of all, I'm really glad that she's happy, and I'm glad that she's making a project that she's genuinely excited about. We all know she's going to be a perfect host, and I absolutely see it reaching the success of shows like Hot Ones and Chicken Shop Date because of Brittany on her own. That being said, if it is true that this show is the reason that VCG ended, I have a shit ton of mixed feelings about it. As a huge supporter of the podcast, and Brittany and Sarah as a duo, I feel very blindsided and almost betrayed. I can only imagine that Sarah has very similar feelings, and I mean their posts online heavily suggest this. VCG was always built up by the two of them, as, you know, this show was something that they were always very passionate about and always wanted to do and very proud of, and, you know, they promoted it, and it was you know, they're a group effort, but the group being two people. Brittany has given us zero indication that she was unhappy or wanted to leave VCG. Her feelings about not wanting to work with a production company so that she can create, you know, based on her own schedule are totally valid, and she of course has a right to stop doing VCG if she doesn't want to do it anymore. I can't be mad at her for taking an opportunity that would make her happy. I know she's been wanting to do this for a while. I just wish that she could have maybe indicated this sooner. And that, you know, wouldn't have made the podcast end in such a poor way. Then again, I don't know the reasoning behind Brittany not being transparent or even her true feelings. Maybe she did want the podcast to continue and couldn't do both things simultaneously. I understand that there's probably a lot of things preventing the two of them from being super direct right now. And I'm definitely not trying to villainize Brittany for any, you know, reason. I will always support her in whatever she does. A lot of this, you know, has been speculation, not even confirmed, but it's just very frustrating as a fan. Alright, and so we have a lot of, like, responses to this, which are basically saying, my theory is that she wanted to keep doing both, but the VCG producer said no, and she chose to do this new show instead of keeping VCG with Sarah. And here's the thing. That is not Brittany's fault if VCG ends then. It's not Sarah's fault. But it's just like, listen, I don't mean this in a shady way. Brittany Broski and Sarah Schauer are on two very different levels of fame. And Brittany Broski has probably been offered so many deals. And this is something that she is making and that, you know, she's fully pursuing, and that is something that her and Sarah have to talk about. Just because they made a podcast doesn't mean they're tied down to it forever, no matter how much we enjoyed watching it. And there are many different things that this could have been the reason. It could have been the producers didn't want Brittany doing both things at the same time because it contradicts it. Maybe Brittany didn't want to do two interviewing and, you know, podcasty setting things at one time because it would be a little bit confusing. Maybe Sarah didn't want to be, you know, Brittany's side project. Like, there are so many different things. Like, this could be, you know, Sarah didn't want to do it either, and it's like, I need to sneeze, so I'm gonna be so real for keeping that in. Isn't that so weird that I sneeze like that? My father taught me to sneeze like that, and he also told me if I continue sneezing like that, I'll probably die because of it one day, because apparently you, like, stop breathing for, like, a second. Which is ironic, because I could just go like this. But I don't die from that. Knock on fucking wood. That I don't know why I went on that tangent. So here's the thing, Sarah could have also chose to not do the podcast anymore as well. But all I'm saying is, like, I'm not going to villainize Brittany Broski for getting a deal and wanting to pursue it. I'm not going to villainize Sarah for acting the way they're acting right now, because it's completely warranted as well. And I just think the ending of the podcast was really poorly done. The way they did that series finale without signing off, basically, and it was poorly done. Now, that could be the producers kicking Brittany off, or Sarah refusing to film anymore now that Brittany has this opportunity, Brittany refusing to do any more, or the entire thing just being cancelled without their control. Now, Sarah has not made it hard to tell that they're, you know, directing a lot of this at Brittany. I think it's very easy to tell by their posts on their social medias. And Sarah had also did a post about people, you know, jumping to conclusions, but that's also Sarah's fault for making, you know, very vague posts constantly day in, day out, and that's going to happen when fans are involved. So it's just a messy situation. I'm happy for Brittany, but like this is messy. So people are saying that the abruptness of the podcast just still doesn't make any sense. And a lot of people are saying as well, violating community guidelines is a good show, but it's redundant. It was only destined to go on for so long. Brittany got a better opportunity where she can grow her personal brand. And, you know, Sarah can go on another podcast with someone, you know, they're apparently best friends with. I see no losses here. However, unless Sarah is just mad that Brittany, you know, because she needs more, like, exposure from Brittany, which is shallow and fucked up if they're really best friends. And I just think that a lot of people are saying, I agree that it didn't have the longevity continue on forever, but it definitely could have gone on longer than this or evolved into something new. Sarah has definitely expressed disappointment, and rightfully so, because this is a loss of something special and truly consistently funny. I can tell that they both really believed in it. I have no doubt that they're going to thrive and grow in their own, you know, respective projects, and I'm happy for them, but this isn't, you know, a blow for Sarah. Not Brittany. This is not a blow for Brittany. Brittany will be probably better off without violating community guidelines, but it's a big blow for Sarah. And the awkward thing about this is Brittany's new show is literally being housed in her and Sarah's house. So, alright, okay, so there's people saying I can see why Sarah is probably very angry, and it has to do with the fact that Sarah probably had many ideas for where violating community guidelines could have went, where Brittany probably seen it as a couple, you know, episode thing, and then moving on to a better deal. Alright, okay, so we're going to get on to one more post here that we have on the Reddit. It's interesting. So it goes, alright, okay. There's, by the way, if you want some, like, interesting reading, I would really go on the Reddit, because it's interesting, the violating community guidelines. So I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't think Brittany starting a new project answers why the podcast ended so abruptly, however. It was actually confusing me even more. I mean, number one, they have more episodes coming out, so why did they just say that this random one was the series finale? Number two, I know they're bonus episodes, but they could have just given a warning about VCG ending and on the last episode release it as the finale. Number three, I feel like a project like Brittany's must have taken months to put together and not something that happens overnight. So they must have known that it was coming. Number four, Sarah had her podcast ready to be announced as soon as, you know, the podcast VCG was announced that it was ending. So they're both kind of prepared, but are acting like they weren't prepared. I wonder if this was just about the amount of time they both had left in their contract with the studio. I know this is all speculation, but I'm just wondering. Someone responds, I feel the exact same way. Brittany mentioned her set in the house is already built, the first guest episode was already recorded, and she's actively searching for her next guest, so she has a few episodes ready to release once it's, you know, officially rolled out. Sarah and Kendall have already been in the studio together. Projects like these both take time. Both of them. So clearly there was already a ton of work that went on behind the scenes for both of the girls, which makes the sudden ending of VCG more confusing to me. I don't know how far in advance they were recording the VCG episodes, so maybe they were on a brief hiatus with the intent to make more episodes, but something happened so the hiatus turned into being cancelled, making the latest episode the finale. Now, a lot of people are just saying, what I will say is that this is still really weird for them. I wonder if something, you know, finally fell into place for, you know, the new show with Brittany that was kind of like, I need to get out now. Like, this is the moment I'm gonna leave. And that's a valid point and something that could have happened. And that could have been maybe filming the first episode and realizing that the show could be a success. You know, the new one with Brittany. And she was like, okay, let's just end VCG now. And maybe Sarah wasn't ready. Or maybe Sarah wanted to end it. And it's like, I don't want to hear either of them coming at the fans for speculation whenever they're feeding us so much stuff that can be turned into drama right now. We all love drama, but even the people that don't love drama on the fucking Reddits and Twitters and YouTube comments are feeding into this shit because it's almost like the perfect drama. Like, please. So, someone said, I do think that it was an issue with contracts and studio. As in, they initially planned on continuing both, but maybe the studio involved with VCG had certain conditions. When push came to shove, the new podcast won the round. It would explain an abrupt ending because it was not what they were planning on doing. I can also see feelings getting hurt on a personal level too if this was the case. And I think it's just important to note that there is money involved here and there's sponsorships involved, and again, this would be a bigger hit for Sarah because this new podcast with Kendall, no shade, will not be probably, you know, what violating community guidelines was and making the same amount of money and, you know, getting the same amount of, you know, ads and whatever. But Brittany will probably make the same amount of money doing, you know, her niche shows. So there clearly will be a lot of tension there, and I don't blame that. But anyway, we have the finale. We know what's happened now. There's still a lot of unanswered questions, but at least we've gotten some sort of clearance here. Muckers, let me know your opinion on this down below. I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Finally. This was the quickest, like, turnaround ever. This is like 3 days, done and dusted. This drama started, ended. Woo! Good job, us. And we were on it every single day. That's why you subscribe. But 70% of you don't. Okay, I love you, bye.